Welcome back, everybody. Today's deep dive takes us to Greater Noida, where we explore the world of bridal makeup artistry through Soniya Pal and her company, Kahani Makeover.
Oh, cool.
We've got two websites just overflowing with information about Sonia's services, her pricing, and tons of feedback from her clients.
Wow.
So by the end of this deep dive, you'll know what makes Soniya a top makeup artist, not only in Greater Noida, but really across India.
Sounds good.
Now, one of the first things that jumped out at me from these sources is that Soniya is way more than just a makeup artist. She's an entrepreneur running her own company.
Right.
And D, she's an educator, too, shaping the next generation of makeup artists.
You know what that tells me?
What's that?
She's got serious ambition and influence to be doing all of that.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder about what kind of unique techniques she must be teaching in her workshops.
For sure.
And speaking of reaching a wider audience, it's really interesting that both sources emphasize her location in both Greater Noida and D Noida while serving the whole Delhi NCR region.
It's like she's got the whole area covered.
Exactly. She's not limiting herself to just one little corner of the city.
Not at all. And that geographic reach says a lot about her reputation.
It does. Like, she's built a name for herself that extends way beyond just a single neighborhood.
Totally. And don't forget, both sources mention years of experience over and over again.
Yeah, that definitely caught my eye, too.
I mean, that's a big deal. It tells us she's not just some new kid on the block.
Definitely not. She's been honing her craft for a while now.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's talk about the name of her company, Kahani Makeover.
Okay.
It's not your typical generic salon name, you know?
Right.
This is her own brand, and Kahani means story in Hindi, which I think hints at something much deeper going on here.
Oh, it totally does.
What do you think?
It's like she's reframing makeup as a way of telling a story, like a visual expression of the bride's own personality and journey.
That's a powerful concept, especially when you think about all the pressure brides face to conform to certain looks.
Yeah, you don't want to just blend in on your wedding day.
Right. It makes me think about those testimonials we've got.
Mm-hmm.
They all talk about how Soniya makes brides feel so confident and beautiful on their big day.
Yeah, it seems like it's not just about the technical skills with her.
Exactly. It's like she understands how important this experience is for them emotionally.
Oh, for sure.
And those testimonials are like marketing gold.
You really are. But you know what else?
Is that?
They give us a real glimpse into Sonia's approach as a makeup artist.
Oh, how so?
Where you see words like flawless and stunning, which obviously points her technical skills.
Sure.
But it's those phrases like exceeded all my expectations and stress-free experience that really stand out to me.
I see what you mean. It's like she's not just meeting their expectations
She's going above and beyond.
and making them feel totally at ease throughout the whole process.
Exactly. It's like she gets it. You know, she understands what brides are going through.
So she's got the skills, the entrepreneurial drive, and the emotional intelligence to make brides feel amazing.
That's a pretty impressive combination.
It really is. What more could you ask for?
Well, there's actually more.
Oh.
Don't forget, she also offers a whole range of services beyond just bridal makeup.
Oh, right. Like what?
We see engagement and reception looks, mehendi and Sangeet makeup, even pre-bridal skincare and destination wedding packages.
Wow. So she's not a one-trick pony at all.
Nope. She's clearly not just churning out the same bridal look over and over again.
That's really impressive, especially when you consider that she offers both HD and airbrush makeup.
It's like she's staying on top of the latest techniques.
And giving brides options, you know, catering to
Okay.
different preferences.
Oh, for sure. And you know what else I found really interesting?
What's that?
She does pre-bridal consultations, A&D trial makeup sessions.
You know, a lot of artists might only offer one or the other.
Right, but she's clearly committed to getting it absolutely right for each bride.
That's smart because it allows for adjustments and ensures the bride is completely happy with the final look.
And it probably minimizes stress on the wedding day itself.
Oh, yeah, knowing that the makeup is one less thing to worry about.
Right. And, you know, she's just as attentive to detail when it comes to pricing, too.
Really?
Yeah, she lists starting prices for different services. Bridal starts at ours, 11.99K reception, at ours, 7.99K party makeup, at ours, $24.99, and hairstyling from ours, $700.
That's really helpful for potential clients to get an idea of what things cost.
Exactly, and she makes it very clear that those are just starting points.
So it's transparent, but also acknowledges that each client's needs are different.
Exactly.
Now, here's something that I think really sets Sonia apart from other makeup artists.
Okay, what's that?
She's an educator.
Oh, right.
She's not just applying makeup, she's teaching others how to do it.
Wow, and not just anyone.
Yeah, aspiring makeup artists who are looking to learn from the best.
That's huge.
Right, and being recognized as a top makeup artist in India gives her teaching so much weight.
It really does. It means her techniques are in high demand.
For sure.
And she's shaping the future of the makeup industry in India.
I wonder what kind of insights she brings to those workshops.
I know, right?
Is she teaching classic techniques, modern trends, or maybe a fusion of both?
We'll have to dive into that a little later.
Yeah, we definitely will. And speaking of exploring further, we can't forget about her online presence.
Oh, yeah. That's important these days.
Absolutely. So we've got 2 separate websites dedicated to Sonia and Kahani Makeover,
Okay.
plus a whole bunch of social media icons linking to everything from Facebook and Instagram to LinkedIn and YouTube.
That's a serious online presence.
It really is. She's not just relying on word of mouth. She's
Yeah.
using all the tools available to build her brand.
That's probably how she's attracting clients from all over the Delhi NCR region.
It definitely gives potential brides a way to see her work and read reviews,
And get a feel for her style.
all before they even meet her in person.
Exactly. And you know what else?
What's that?
I think it's also how she connects with other makeup artists.
And stays up to date with industry trends.
Right. The fact that she has 2 websites is really interesting to me.
I know, it's kind of unusual, right?
It is. It makes me think she's strategically separating her audience.
Like maybe one site is more focused on brides?
And the other one is for her educational services.
That's a clever observation.
Mm.
So far, we've got Sonia, the skilled makeup artist, Sonia, the savvy entrepreneur, and Sonia, the influential educator.
That's quite a resume.
It really is. But you know, one thing I notice is how much emphasis is placed on her commitment to enhancing natural beauty.
Oh, yeah. That phrase
But
pops up everywhere.
I think it suggests a philosophy that goes deeper than just covering up flaws.
It's more like she's saying, you're already beautiful, and I'm here to help you shine even brighter.
Exactly. It's subtle, but it's a powerful message.
Especially in a culture where bridal beauty can sometimes feel so prescriptive.
Like there's only one right way to look.
Yeah, it's refreshing to see someone promoting a more individualized approach.
You know what else I noticed?
What's that?
Both websites prominently feature Sonia's name and the name Kahani Makeover.
Oh, yeah, they're presented as one unit.
It's like they're inseparable, representing this unified brand and vision.
That's a smart branding strategy because it makes the brand feel more personal.
More relatable to potential clients.
Exactly. It's not just some faceless company, you know?
It's a reflection of Sonia's own expertise and artistry.
Right. Speaking of expertise,
Yes.
both websites refer to her as a top makeup artist in India.
That's a bold statement, wouldn't you say?
It is, but you know what?
What?
It's not just an empty boast.
True.
Everything we've seen so far supports that claim.
Her work, her experience, the client testimonials, her status as an educator,
It all adds up.
it really makes you wonder what the criteria are for a title like that.
Like, is there some kind of makeup Olympics where artists compete?
That's hilarious.
I know, right?
But you got a point. There's got to be some process for determining who's at the top.
Maybe it involves recognition from other makeup artists.
Or awards, publications, industry events, something like that.
It definitely suggests she's seen as a leader and innovator in her field.
Absolutely. And speaking of innovation,
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if these websites reveal any specific makeup techniques or styles that she specializes in.
Oh, good question.
Like, does her work lean towards natural looks or bold colors or traditional Indian aesthetics?
Yeah, that would give us a much better understanding of what sets her apart as a top artist.
You know, I think you just hit on the perfect question to kick off part 2 of our deep dive.
Well, actually, there's no need to wait.
Really?
We can jump right into those technical details.
Okay.
I'm seeing some intriguing clues on these websites, so let's dive in.
Sounds good to me.
Let's do it. All right, so let's get into some of those technical details about Sonia's makeup style.
I'm ready.
Okay, so while we don't have like a step-by-step breakdown of her techniques,
Right.
these websites do give us some clues.
Okay.
For example, both mention using high-quality, skin-friendly products.
That makes sense, especially for bridal makeup. You don't want to use anything that might irritate the skin.
Oh, definitely not. Not on such an important day.
And they'll be wearing that makeup for hours.
Exactly. And while the websites don't come right out and name specific brands, they do emphasize that Sonia is committed to staying current with the latest products and trends.
That's good to know.
Yeah. I mean, she's not stuck using the same old products year after year.
She's keeping up with the times.
Totally. She's doing her research, trying new things, finding what works best.
That probably plays a big role in her being recognized as a top makeup
I
artist.
bet it does. It's a competitive industry.
It is. You got to stay ahead of the curve.
And remember, she's not just using these products, she's teaching others about them too.
Oh, that's right.
So she really needs to have a deep understanding of all of it
Like the ingredients and formulations.
and how different products work on different skin types and tones.
It's like she's a walking beauty encyclopedia.
Seriously. But okay, let's get back to those clues about her style.
Okay.
I'm seeing phrases like enhancing natural features and creating a radiant glow.
I noticed those too.
So it seems like she leans towards a more natural, luminous look.
As opposed to something super dramatic or heavy.
Right. It makes sense when you think about that emphasis on natural beauty we talked about earlier.
It's like she's not trying to hide anything,
Nope. She's highlighting their best features.
making them look like the best version of themselves.
It makes you wonder if she has a signature style.
Or a specific technique.
Yeah, like a certain way of applying eyeshadow or a go-to lip color.
Ooh, I'd love to know that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have enough information to say for sure.
Uh,
But I did find one little detail that's interesting.
okay, tell me.
One of the websites mentions that Sonia is skilled in both traditional Indian and contemporary makeup styles.
Now that's cool.
It is. It means she can do it all.
So she can cater to brides who want a more classic look.
Maybe something inspired by traditional Indian aesthetics.
But she can also create something more modern and trendy,
Exactly. It speaks to her versatility.
and her sensitivity to different cultures.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's not forcing a single style on everyone.
She's adapting her approach to honor the bride's preferences and background.
That's so important,
Yeah.
especially in a place as diverse as Greater Noida.
Where you're going to have brides from all different regions and traditions.
Exactly. And don't forget, she also does makeup for events besides weddings.
Oh, right, like engagements, receptions, even just parties.
It all means she needs to be able to create a wide range of looks.
From soft and romantic to bold and glamorous.
You know, thinking about all these styles and techniques, it makes you realize that makeup artistry is so much more than just colors and textures.
It really is. There's so much that goes into it.
It's like you need to understand facial structure and color theory
And how to use makeup to create illusions.
and bring out a person's natural features.
It's an art form, for sure.
It really is.
Mhm.
And while we don't get into all the specifics of Sonia's techniques,
Sure.
we definitely get a sense of her commitment to her craft
Oh, yeah.
and her passion for what she does.
And we can't forget about those amazing testimonials.
Oh, they're so good.
They all talk about how confident and beautiful she makes her brides feel.
It's more than just the makeup, you know?
Yeah.
They really emphasize the emotional side of the experience.
They do. They say things like, she made me feel like myself, just a more radiant version.
It's like she captures their essence.
Instead of masking it with makeup,
You hit the nail on the head. It's not just about technical skills.
it's about connecting with the bride on a personal level.
Understanding her vision and making her feel heard.
It's like she's saying, this is your story to tell.
Yeah.
I'm just here to help you express it.
That's perfect. It really challenges that old idea of the makeup artist being the only one who knows what looks good.
Like they're the dictator of beauty.
Exactly. Sonia's embracing a more collaborative approach.
She sees the bride as an equal partner in the process.
Right. Now it makes me wonder how she handles cultural differences and expectations
Especially with Indian weddings being so rich with traditions.
and symbolism.
Bridal makeup often plays a big part in those traditions.
It does. It seems like she's found this balance between honoring those traditions.
And embracing individuality.
Remember, her website mentions she's skilled in both traditional Indian and contemporary makeup styles.
So she can adapt to different preferences.
That's got to be so important in Greater Noida.
With brides from all different backgrounds.
It's really impressive how she can be so flexible while still staying true to the core idea of Kahani Makeover.
That makeup is a form of storytelling.
It shows her skill as an artist, but also her sensitivity as a person.
I think this idea of makeup as storytelling is extra powerful at a wedding.
Oh, for sure.
It's such an emotional day.
Full of symbolism and new beginnings.
And Sonia's makeup captures all of that.
The bride's hopes and dreams for the future.
It's like she's helping them write the first page of their new story.
Using makeup as the ink.
And each story is completely unique.
Reflecting the bride's individuality and heritage.
Okay, so big picture here. What can we as listeners take away from all this?
What makes this deep dive about more than just finding a good makeup artist?
Well, first of all, it makes us think about beauty differently.
It's not just about achieving a certain look.
It's about expressing who we are, our stories, our dreams,
It also highlights how important personal connection is.
Especially in a service industry like this.
Sonia's not just technically skilled.
She builds relationships with her clients, understands their needs, makes them feel special.
And for anyone who's ever felt stuck in a box,
Like people have expectations of who they should be.
Sonia's story is so inspiring.
He's a makeup artist, an entrepreneur, an educator.
She's proof that we can be multifaceted and pursue different passions.
That's a great point. And on that note, we've reached the end of this part of our deep dive into the world of Soniya Pal and Kahani Makeover.
Be sure to check out her websites and social media and to see more of her amazing work.
We'll be back soon to wrap up this episode, so stay tuned. Okay, so we've talked about Sonia's skills, her business, and her online presence. But I want to go back to something that really stood out to me.
Okay, what's that?
This whole idea of makeup as storytelling, which is like the heart of Kahani Makeover.
Right.
It sounds great in theory, but I'm curious how it actually works in practice.
Yeah, how does she actually translate that concept into a real bridal look?
Exactly.
Well, it's easy to just focus on the surface level of makeup.
Or the colors and the techniques.
Right. But Soniya seems to be going deeper than that.
Like tapping into what this day really means for the bride.
The emotions, the symbolism, the whole story.
So I'm imagining those pre-bridal consultations are pretty in-depth.
I would think so.
It's not just about picking the right shade of lipstick.
It's about getting to know the bride on a personal level.
Her personality, her dreams, her fears.
Even her cultural background.
And all of that becomes part of the story that Soniya helps to tell through makeup.
That's a really cool way to think about it.
And it makes me think about those testimonials we've talked about.
Uh-huh.
The brides always say how confident and beautiful Soniya made them feel.
But they also talk about feeling like themselves.
Just a more radiant version.
That's such a great point.
It's like she's able to capture their essence.
Not just covered up with a bunch of makeup.
And that's not just about technical skill.
No way. It takes empathy and intuition.
You have to be able to connect with the bride on a deeper level.
Because you're not just applying makeup. You're creating an experience.
It's about making the bride feel heard and understood.
Like Sonia's saying, this is your story to tell. I'm just here to help you express it beautifully.
I love that. It's such a different approach than that old school way of thinking.
Where the makeup artist is the all-knowing expert.
Yeah, and the bride just sits there and does what she's told.
Exactly. Sonia's creating a more collaborative experience.
The bride is an active participant in creating her own look.
Now that makes me think about all the cultural traditions around Indian weddings.
Good point.
Bridal makeup is often very specific and symbolic.
So how does Soniya navigate all of that while still honoring each bride's individuality?
It seems like she's found a way to balance tradition and personal expression.
Her website mentions that she's an expert in both traditional Indian and contemporary makeup styles.
So she can cater to a wide range of preferences.
It makes sense, especially in a diverse place like Greater Noida,
Where she's probably working with brides from all different backgrounds.
It's really cool how she can be so flexible and adaptable.
While still staying true to that core idea of Kahani Makeover.
That makeup is a way of telling a story.
She's a talented artist, but also a really thoughtful person.
You know, I think this whole storytelling concept is extra powerful for weddings.
Why is that?
Because it's such a meaningful day.
A new chapter, a fresh start.
And Sonia's makeup captures all of that.
The bride's hopes and dreams for the future.
It's like she's using makeup to help them write the first page of their love story.
That's such a beautiful image.
And every story is different, just like every bride.
Reflecting their unique personality and heritage.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what are the big takeaways for our listeners?
What can they learn from Soniya and Kahani Makeover?
Beyond just finding a good makeup artist,
Well, I think it encourages us to think about beauty differently.
it's not just about achieving some ideal look.
It's about expressing who you are and what makes you unique.
It's about telling your own story,
And it highlights the power of human connection.
especially in a field like this.
Sonia's success comes from more than just her technical skills.
She makes her clients feel seen and understood,
And for anyone who feels like they're stuck in a box,
like they have to be a certain way.
Sonia's a great example of someone who embraces all parts of herself.
She's an artist, an entrepreneur, an educator.
And she's not afraid to be all of those things.
That's a beautiful message. And with that, we've come to the end of our deep dive into the world of Soniya Pal and Kahani Makeover.
Check out her websites and social media to see more of her work.
It's really stunning.
And as you go about your day, we wanted to leave you with this thought.
What's that?
What story are you telling with your life?
And how can you use your own talents and passions to make it a beautiful one?
Until next time, keep diving deep.
Bye, everyone.